So, the secret sonics of Micheal Jackson, right? Back for another little yap session. There's a lot of reasons why we don't have an MJ right now. You know what I'm saying? He's one of a kind. And we don't really have that right now for a multitude of reasons. One of the main reasons somebody would say would be there's just simply nobody as talented as him right now, right? While that is mostly true, there's more to it, okay? There's a secret science behind music and the sonics of music. This may be like a little bit technical, the details of making music. Maybe you can learn a little something. So one of the first things, right, that not just Micheal Jackson, but a lot of people back in the day, they used to use different tools to make the music. Nowadays, you know, I just love bringing up the underground. I love talking about the underground and underground music. A lot of new artists are using BandLab. And while BandLab you can make good music on BandLab, just keep in mind, if you want to be, you know, like a generational artist like Micheal Jackson, Micheal Jackson was not using BandLab. You know, obviously. What I have right here today, on my screen, so we got Mike Jack, you know what I'm saying? This is the new movie that just came out, the new documentary. Right here, we have what's called a tape machine. And on this side, we have one of the OG mics that Micheal Jackson used to use. Now, this microphone right here, some of you may have seen this, and it's actually very inexpensive. This is the Shure SM7B. This is a microphone that a lot of podcasters use, a lot of content creators. Just has a nice warm sound to it. You know, a little bit later in his career, when he was going, you know, double, triple, ultra platinum, he was using like modded mics, you know what I'm saying? They were specially made for his voice, you know, so he had, and you know what I'm saying? Of course, when you rich and successful and got money like MJ, you can drop bags on stuff like that. And then the tape machine. The tape machine, this is a classic piece of gear that back in the day, they used to record music onto. Later in the years of music making, things started to become more digital. So people were just making music on their computers, you know, even on their phones. And so the sound is just different. That's why older music has more soul to it. Or you know, there's just that feeling when you're just listening to like older music, or even like a modern song that is like professionally studio made, because they still use some of these pieces of gear like this to this day. It's just if you're getting it professionally made, it just has a different quality and like feel to it. You can just feel the difference, basically. Here's a video to kind of explain a little bit of what I'm talking about.
One of our long-held philosophies here is that analog gear has a soul. Some of the same elements used to make the components in your equipment or the wires to connect your gear exist in the human body. We believe the sonic energy analog equipment generates, especially the sounds resulting from analog tape recording, evokes a physiochemical reaction that impacts mood, mental acuity, and your state of being. A word commonly used to describe this phenomenon is emotion.
Whenever the music is recorded in that kind of way, it just gives you a different feeling, you know what I mean? And that's just off the sonics alone. Like whenever I think of an artist like an X or a Juice WRLD, those artists that were being emotional in their music and they were showing their emotions, it connects with a broader range of people, and it just sticks with people longer when they can connect to music and in an emotional way. It makes the music last longer. While I'm a vibe-based person, I like the vibe of a song. So no matter how it's recorded, you know what I'm saying? If I'm vibing, I'm gonna bump it. But how long I'm gonna bump it for is the question. You know what I'm saying? A lot of songs that I be vibing to, they be kind of getting played out. After a certain amount of time, I'm just like, you know, This it starts feeling a little. If they be feeling a little cheap nowadays, a little like plastic in a way. I really try to stay away from the educational, which I don't know why. You feel me? You got a little bit of knowledge or game to spit. Why not inform the folks? You know what I'm saying? So you know what? Now I have years of expertise and research in this department because I used to be a garage band demon. Okay, back in those heydays. Yes, I was on garage band. And really just whipping it up, bro. I used to whip it up on the phone, computer. And while it was cool, you know what I'm saying? It was cool at the time. I used to just listen to my favorite artist and be like, why is my stuff not hitting? Okay. So if you're a Band Lab demon watching this, or if you know of anybody, you know, any SoundCloud rappers at your school, and they think that they're MJ and it's just not hitting, maybe this can help them out a little bit. So what we have here, the secret sonics of MJ, you know what I'm saying? We're just gonna speed it up, or we're gonna fast forward a little bit, and we're gonna get into the modern sound. Okay, so while MJ used his tools and stuff back in the day, there are similar tools that we have for the modern sound. Okay, so what we have here, we have my man Travis Scott. This microphone right here, this is a Sony C800G. Any of like the top dogs they're making an album off of is usually like through something like this. You feel me? Like the Drakes, Travis, even like the Frank Oceans, the Sabrina Carpenters, like anybody like that. They're recording in a microphone like this. This is a C800G, and then it's going into what is called a preamp. The preamp is just making the cleanest possible signal from your microphone. A lot of people are using like basically their phone as this step right here. And it's just not close enough to the real life sound that's being produced from the microphone. So you got it going from the mic to the preamp. They crank this joint up, and then it goes into this right here, which is called the compressor. And the compressor, it just gets your voice very much radio ready sounding. And that's pretty much, I'll keep it there. You know, I don't want to get too technical with it, but this chain can get very expensive. It can get very expensive. There's ways to get around it to make it very affordable. You know, if you just get like a decent mic, you know, like Guitar Center, couple $100, get you a cheap preamp, and then you use plugins to emulate the sound. You can get there, and it's respectable. You know what I'm saying? It's a respectable sound. But I feel like a lot of artists these days, they're just not serious about having a clean, good sound. Unless you're just talented, bro. Like, unless you're just talented, and because I've heard some artists off of Band Lab, they're just talented, and it just doesn't really matter. But it makes a difference, and it definitely puts you like. Once I start getting into stuff like this, I just heard my music go from like, I felt the difference, and then it made me more confident, and then I start singing more confident. I start writing more confident. I start feeling more confident, and now my music is just, I'm getting that energy across a little bit more true, if that makes sense. That's kind of like my diagnosis of where the state of music is right now. I feel like a lot of people aren't really trying. They're not trying. They're doing the bare minimum, if that makes sense. They're skating by with the bare minimum, and the soul, you know what I'm saying? We missing the soul. So, that's just a quick little yap. If you're interested in any kind of sonics of that sort, hella yaps.